all of you to our special edition of the PDX A1 Spotlight Show. Today we have two well-known doctors, Mrs. Senthilkumar and Mr. Arul Amudhan, joining us to talk about the role of Siddha medicine and how it can help us in maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Thank you, Uma and Arul, for accepting our invitation in short time. It's an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. I personally would like to welcome both of you. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Global Center for Siddha Medicine and Research coordinator, US coordinator, Mr. Shivasailam sir, for helping us put this informative session together. Thank you, sir. I'm very happy and glad to welcome Mrs. Siddha and Albert for our esteemed host of the evening. Welcome, Chitra and Albert. Both are very knowledgeable and influential people in our community. On behalf of entire PDX A1 Spotlight team, we are very happy to have you on the show today. Chitra and Albert, it's yours now.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Venkat. Good evening, friends. Warm welcome to everyone for today's PDX A1 Spotlight Show. I'm Alfred Irdiyaraj, a long-term resident of Portland. I'm very honored to host this show along with wonderful co-host Chitra. I thank Venkat for providing us this platform for the benefit of the community, and thank Ajay and Priya for managing the show and giving us opportunity. For many years, I have explored and tried various traditional systems of healing, and every time I'm amazed by the holistic approach they offer. Today, I'm very excited to learn more about the Siddha medicine from our distinguished guests, Dr. Senthilkumar and Dr. Arul Amudhan. I have the honor of introducing Dr. Senthilkumar. She is currently practicing family medicine in Michigan. She grew up in South India, where she completed her BSMS degree in Siddha medicine. She received her master's science neuropharmacology degree from the National University of Galway, Ireland. Sorry about it. And her passion for medicine made her pursue a conventional medical degree, and she received her MD degree from St. Matthew's University in Grand Cayman. She completed family medicine residency at Eastern Virginia Medical School in Norfolk, Virginia. Holistic health has been her main focus, which motivated her to pursue the fellowship in integrative medicine, which she'll be completing in 4 months. She has won many awards and has been an active member of various professional organizations. Dr. Uma, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Venkat and PDX-A1 for giving me the wonderful opportunity to co-host today's show with Alfred. Hearty welcome to our guests, Dr. Uma and Dr. Arul, and a very good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to all our Facebook and YouTube viewers from around the globe. Thanks for joining. I'm Chitra Almanchli, and I'm excited to be part of the show Art of Healthy Living with Siddha Medicine. A little bit about myself. I'm an engineer by profession, and our family has been living in the Portland area for 15 years. We have 2 kids, ages 12 and 8. We love the greenery of the area and have a close-knit community like Portland, like family here in Portland. I would like to welcome Dr. Arul Amudhan. Hi, Dr. Arul.
Hi, how are you? Fine, I'm fine.
Yeah. Nice to have both you and Dr. Uma on board. Over to you.
Yeah. Dr. Uma, I think you can proceed with the presentation.
Sure. So first off, I want to extend my greetings to everybody here who has joined us today, wherever you're in the world. I'm happy that you could take the time to come here. And I really thank the host here for having us here, and the organization itself and GCSMR. And I'm happy to share this platform with my colleague, Dr. Arul. And rest assured, it's going to be an extra beautiful 1 hour for all of us. So without further delay, I would like to move on to my presentation. So today we picked up the topic about healthy weight for a healthy life. The reason we picked this topic is we strongly believe as physicians, like everything starts with um, the overall presentation of the health, and that starts at the basic parameter of weight. So, and we all know that commonly now the overweight has been a huge, crisis all over the world, not just US, but everywhere in the world. Overweight is a big issue. So we chose this topic to kind of go over the basics and then share some strategies with you all to see how we can balance life with a healthy weight. So with my background, I did both Siddha medicine and conventional medicine. And with that, I was really privileged to have both in my career. But with that knowledge, I could differentiate where I can focus on, holistic way and where I should do the conventional way. Just to give you a very brief idea of different system of medicine, and I'm sure Dr. Arul is going to talk in depth about Siddha itself here. So the different systems of medicine here are like anything that is outside of the mainstream, like maybe call it Western or conventional or allopathic. Anything that is outside of that mainstream is called as indigenous system of medicine. And specifically in India, we call it as Ayush. There are like 6 different system of medicines conglomerated in this Ayush. And as you see here, it's Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Unani, and Siddha homeopathy here. So we're going to talk more about Siddha system of medicine, which has gained or a lot of popularity during this COVID times. Going into the topic itself, as we all know, overweight is not like a thing that happened overnight. It is a chronic issue. It comes and goes, and it's not related to just one factor. We have multiple factors involved in the cause of overweight. And how do we diagnose this problem? We use parameters that is recommended by WHO and NIH. We use the BMI, which is your body mass index. When we say that we have a cutoff for Asian versus non-Asian. In Asians, they have kept the cutoff at 23, and for non-Asians, it's less than 25. So as Asians, we do have like a very tight cutoff there. And then we also recognize overweight by waist circumference, which tells you that if the waist circumference is above 40 in men or above 35 in women for general population, and if you pick only the Asian population, again, the cutoff is low there. You can see it's greater than 31 is for females and greater than 35 inches for males.
Dr. Ma, you would want to share your presentation?
Oh, it's not seen?
Not yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that there?
Yeah, it's coming now. Yes.
Okay. I apologize. Yeah. Shall we just continue, or do you want me to?
I think you can continue. Yeah.
So this is the way we diagnose the disease here. So we either use the waist circumference or the BMI. So as I said before, like what are the causes of overweight? It is multifactorial. It is not just one reason that causes you overweight overnight. So it could be as your lifestyle, or it could be related to your hormones, or the way you exercise or not exercise, or it could be sometimes genetic. Or it could be psychological and behavior issues. And the last thing that's not here is some of the medications itself can cause weight gain. So those are some common factors that leads to weight gain. And I feel like for weight management, or for any disease for that matter, any wellness or illness, we have to see the patients as a whole. It shouldn't be like you treat the symptom and it's done. No, we have to go to the root cause of the disease and analyze why it is the way it is. So you have to put it as a holistic picture here, and that's how every disease has to be approached. And that's why I strongly believe in integrated system of medicine rather than picking one particular system of medicine. And I definitely see as we march towards, in future of medicine, I see integration is going to be the way that's going to work better in all kind of diseases. So the factors, I mean, the strategies that we can use to control the overweight, I mean, definitely we all know this exercise. It is a hard issue for most of us because of the lifestyle we live with, all the work we do, and balancing things in life. This becomes our least priority, and I feel like everyone should turn towards themselves at least 5 to 10 minutes every day to see what you're doing for yourself, or to respect your body that is giving you all the momentum to face this life. So exercise is definitely important. There are so many kinds of exercise, as we know. The best way to choose an exercise is going by the fit therapy, which is like, how often can you do the exercise? What is the intensity you can pick? And how long can you spare to do the exercise, and what type that will suit you. So based on this, we can pick an activity. Say, for example, if someone has issues with their lower extremities or with their upper body, they can pick and choose specific kind of exercise that can give them the momentum. You still have to do something to spend the calories so that you can maintain the normal weight. So here we talk about even daily living activities. So for example, if you're going to office, you can park your car far away in the parking lot and you can still walk to the building. That itself is giving you some amount of calorie burn there, and taking the steps instead of, elevators. And then people who can really afford to do aerobic exercises, that's a great way of starting the basic regimen. And then who are really intense in doing this, resistance training or weight training, that can be done. Again, with all these varieties available, if so many is available, why still we have this problem of overweight and obesity? Is because there is no consistency. People pick up a habit, they do it for some few days, a few months with all that energy and momentum, but and days goes by, we all lose that energy and momentum, and it just falls apart. So consistency is the key. Even if you're able to spare 3 days in a week, that is better than just saying I'm going to do 365 days a year of exercise. So just keeping the consistency is really, really important. And then nutrition and diet, second factor that's the key of having a normal weight. So we look at the factors like, first of all, when you see your food, we have to analyze, number one, are you really hungry? Do you need to even put your hand on that plate, right? And then just because something is available, I have seen so many, of my colleagues or workers in office, they have some snack bar or anything next to them, keep munching and then keep working parallelly. So just because it is available, just because it's in your hands reach, you shouldn't be eating. Just go with your intuition. Are you really hungry? Is it a time for you to eat? So those kind of questions, we call it as awareness eating. That is really important. And then picking the right diet. So honestly, at this point, our culture is saturated with lots and lots of diet, including Mediterranean, Atkins diet, paleo diet, glycemic index diet. There are so many diets available. So again, as I would always stress that eat what you like, but the key is the moderation. Like whatever you like, it has to be in moderation. We all are here to earn money, work, and take care of our family. At the same time, this can be done only if you have the right energy by eating the right diet. So I mean, everybody is unique, and I cannot say this diet is suitable for everybody. So you have to approach a physician, analyze your body composition, and then decide what is the right diet for you, and pick and go from there. I put the Mediterranean diet here only because this is one of the common diet we use in patient setting, because it's more rich in fresh foods than processed foods. And if you see the whole pyramid here, only the top is the red meat. The most of the pyramid consists of all the fresh fruits and vegetables and nuts and dry fruits and all that. So this is one of the common diet we prescribe to our patients. And I really wanted to touch base on this topic, which is the talk of the town, which is the intermittent fasting. I know it is coming around again, and this is not something new. We always say what goes around comes around, right? So it was there once upon a time, and now it has come back again because when you run out of options, we have to go back to the origin again. And I think that's how we landed up in this intermittent fasting. So if you go back to our traditions, there were so many ways our ancestors and our past generations have observed fasting in many different names, like may it be a religious fasting, or they pick specific days. In each culture they have this concept of fasting. So now it has become a therapy, and which is very fascinating because they have really done a beautiful protocol of how to do this. And there are so many fasting therapy centers where we refer patients and they go get a specific designed regimen for them, and they do this in a designed way, and it really works wonderful. So intermittent fasting is nothing but you will not eat for a set period of time. In intermittent fasting we have like two types, a dry and a wet intermittent fasting, which means like the dry is you don't eat or drink anything, and the wet is like you at least drink water during the time of fasting. So we normally prefer the 16 is to 8 ratio of intermittent fasting, which means you fast for 16 hours and you can eat for 8 hours. So it goes like after dinner, you don't eat until the next day afternoon. People who can tolerate that can do it. But again, as I said, based on your body composition, we adjust the hours that they can fast. So what happens when you fast, and why is it really important to maintain a normal weight? It's because we eat three meals a day. Some people eat 6 meals a day. So when we do so much of eating, we are suppressing some things that could be beneficial for burning your stored energy. So when we want to really spend all the food we eat as energy, we need to give our body a break. So that's when the detoxification happens, right? So when you fast, your insulin level goes down because insulin only kicks in when you eat more sugar. So when you fast, the insulin level goes down, and that facilitates all the fat that is stored in your belly to burn. So that's how you lose fat. So you need to burn your fat, and you need to have less insulin for that. And less insulin comes only from not eating. So that's the concept over there. So what are the other benefits of fasting? It also induces your growth hormone, which is the key hormone for your growth. It increases, sometimes by scientific evidence, they say it increases it to 5-fold. And this really helps to burn your fat and increases your metabolism. And other than that, beautiful benefits of the fasting are it reduces your oxidative stress, which causes the release of free radicals, and that is supposed to be causing cancer and inflammatory disorders, right? So this fasting reduces all those unnecessary or dangerous free radicals and gives you less inflammation, and gives you a good heart health and also the brain health. So I cannot stress enough on this. It is definitely worth trying this. And this has been designed for diabetics, especially. It works wonderful. So for type 2 diabetes, as I said, why do you get even diabetes? Because people have insulin in their own body, right? But the insulin has to work in certain areas to reduce the sugar. But your body is resisting the insulin to work. So that insulin resistance itself is decreased or stopped by doing this fasting. So you automatically, your insulin starts working in your body. So you are healing yourself by fasting. So you're not giving any pill or potion here, but you're self-healing. And that's what we call it as detoxification, right? If a car keeps running for miles and miles for days and years, the engine goes off faster, right? So we need a break. Everybody needs a break, and our body needs that too. So I think fasting is a way to go. So moving on, the other concept is microbiome. So microbiome is nothing but your gut has a lot of bacteria, And that is supposed to be the key factor in giving you your brain health and also you're maintaining your metabolism. So we disrupt this bacteria in many different ways by eating wrong foods and taking a lot of medications, because we all like easy fix. So if headache, we pop a pill. If there is migraine, we pop a pill. Or if you have any stomach upset, even before it becomes bigger, we pop a pill. So all those habit of eating pills for everything disrupts all the bacteria in your good bacteria in your stomach, and that causes a lot of disruption in your digestion and leads to weight gain. Okay, so I don't want to take too much time. I'm happy to answer questions, but I'll just move on with my other slides here. So when we say microbiome, how can you have more microbiome in your body? Again, by choosing the right food choices. See, these are available. It's not like the period we are living that the food choices are not available. You go to market, you get all kind of good foods and all kind of unwanted foods. So it is on us to pick the right ones, right? So all the sugary stuff, carbonated beverages, and your cookies, your meat. I'm not saying just starve from all of this and go with a bland diet, live a plant-based food. That is not my idea. But again, as I said before, moderation. Like, are you picking more white bread versus, more millets? That's the question. Just that's where we need to find the balance. And we also try to do mind-body interventions, which is mindful eating. Honestly, 99% of us don't follow mindful eating. We don't eat, sit and eat because we want to eat. We do so many, we all are like, multitasking these days. We attend the phone calls, we type our work notes or anything along with eating. Eating is just a secondary thing for us. That shouldn't be the case. Even if you spend 5 minutes, it has to be mindful. You have to listen to your body. We have to eat and chew the food so many times that it becomes a liquid in your mouth. They say you have to drink your food. Which means that it has to be so liquid by chewing, and then you drink your food. That's how you eat. So we call it as mindful eating. And this is a great practice we teach our patients to, reduce the weight. Sometimes we watch TV and we eat this big can of popcorns. We don't realize we eat so much, right? So if you mindfully eat, I'm telling you, I tried this honestly myself. Say, for example, I eat Indian bread, which I love, the rotis. I eat at least three to four rotis when I'm watching a TV or my favorite shows. And if I sit and eat just by looking at the roti, I cannot go more than two, because I chew. I think the signals in your body kick in and you stop eating after that, because your satiety level, the hunger level goes down when you chew so much. So mindful eating is a really, really important thing we all have to follow. And then last but not the least, it's the guided imagery. This we don't do it often, or the hypnosis or CBT. We use this for people who have this binge eating. They just cannot stop eating. They go on and on and on. And that's where this hypnotic therapies and cognitive behavior therapies, the CBTs, come in place. So I'm trying to give you like 6 or 7 strategies here. And the whole idea here is, we don't do one single thing for our patients. That's why I call it as integrative approach. We try to start with, lifestyle changes. Then we bring in all these different parameters like, focused eating, guided imagery, all kind of different things put together. It works wonderful for patients. These are the medications that we use for weight loss. Again, as a physician, I never go to this route. And when patients ask me, I always discourage them. I give all kind of alternative options, and I say, by taking this, we cause more harm than good. And this is not a permanent fix. This is a temporary fix. So if they are really desperate, it's okay to start with a small dose and then continue it for 2 to 3 months and bringing all the other lifestyle changes, and then we can cut down on the medications and stop the medications eventually. So maintaining weight loss is not a difficult task. All we have to do is have that intention and have that momentum to do it. And it is definitely possible. And I have seen people who have a BMI of 56 come down to 34 or 36 in a matter of 2 to 3 years without any surgery, without any bariatric surgery or medications. It's just that as a physician, I personally own my patients, and you have to give that push to those people, giving them all kind of support that is available. And that's why integrative approach is the best approach. And no one system can, raise their hand and say this is the best. So with that, I would conclude my speech, and thank you for having me here. And I'm take all the questions once Dr. Arul is done with this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Uma. Thank you very much. I'm going to definitely drink my food going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Uma, for the great presentation on the healthy eating and the lifestyle. It was great. Yeah, thank you. Now I would like to introduce our second guest, Dr. Arul Amudhan. Dr. Arul belongs to a tribal Siddha Vaidya family and has completed his bachelor's and MD in Siddha medicine from Government Siddha Medical College in Tamil Nadu. Subsequently, he pursued his MSc in medical pharmacology at Kasturba Medical College, Manipal, and PhD in pharmacology at Manipal University. He was the awardee of Jawaharlal Nehru Memorial Fund Award for his academic excellence and post-graduation. Dr. Arul is an active researcher, Siddha physician, and a medical teacher. He was the first Siddha physician turned a medical pharmacologist and involved in many Siddha integrative medical research. He has published more than 40 research articles in international journals and completed more than 50 projects related to Siddha drug research. He's specialized in treating psoriasis, cancer, and COPD. Welcome, Dr. Arul. Thank you for being with us here. So over to you, Dr. Arul.
Vanakkam, namaskaram. Good morning and good evening to all the audience throughout the world. Let me start sharing the screen. Okay. Okay. First of all, I thank PDX-A1 community to arrange this such a wonderful talk, and others. I also extend the thank to the Mr. Venkadeshan, Mr. Ajoy, Alfred, Chitra, and Priya Murali. So I thank the previous speaker, Dr. Uma, for introducing the obesity concept so that my workload is actually reduced. So since it's about the Siddha medicines, I would like to spend few slides about the Siddha medicine. Then we will look at how Siddha medicine advises for the weight reduction. So actually, Siddha or Siddhi means the holistic or supernatural powers or yogic achievement. So this terminology is there in almost all the ancient languages. So basically Siddhas were the ancient Indian yogis. For example, Agasthyar, Patanjali, Bogar. So there are a big list of ancient Indian yogis. They were actually medical scientists. They have discovered many Ayurveda, Siddha, such a traditional medicines for the human well-being. Siddha, when we talk about it, it is actually a pan-Asian system. So which means many Siddhas like Dhanvantri, Nagarjuna from Andhra region, then Bogar, he traveled to China and contributed to traditional Chinese medicine. Ramadeva, who traveled to Arab, and he changed his name as a Jacob. So Siddha has the root for all the Asian traditional medical systems. So when we talk about Siddha, then I would like to tell that it is actually a pre-Vedic medical system. Even the Rig Veda is the ancient Indian documented literature which acknowledge the Siddha medicine. For example, this line says about the Rudra, you are a best physician, best among the physicians. So Rudra means Shiva. So he is also Siddha. He is considered as the founder of the Siddha medicine. And also Agastya Muni is the father of Siddha medicine. He and his wife Lobamudra authored few of the chapters in the Rig Veda. So this is how Siddha is actually a pre-Vedic medical system. Recently, 1997, the UNESCO has recognized 6,000 Tamil Siddha palm manuscripts as the traditional rich knowledge. And it's very interesting to note that many of the Siddhas Samadhi place. Samadhi place means where they spend their last days and they left the body from the world, or in other words, they died. So Samadhi places are actually today a great pilgrimage centers. They act as a place of healing, both the body and physical as well as mental challenges, mental healing. People visit these places and get rid of that. For example, Thiruvananthapuram, it is actually Samadhi place of Agasthyar. Rameshwaram is the Samadhi place of Patanjali. Tirupati is the Samadhi place of Kunganavar. And Dhanvantari, he actually attained Samadhi at the Vaitishwaran Koil. So the list is actually big. So just I wanted to tell you how the ancient Indian healing system has turned into a religious, or it is actually merged with the religious practice. When we talk about Siddha, how they are differing from other philosophies. So Siddha is actually very keen on the scientific thing. Siddha mean science and thinking power or brain. So Siddhas, they told that the mind and the body is the temple where the God resides. So they search the God inside, inner engineering. They never search the God outside. First point. Second point is the each and every human or every living being is a temple. So we should love each other. So that concept was brought to the world by the Siddhas. So being a temple, we should actually take care of the temple, right? So therefore, Siddhas developed the Siddha medicine to preserve the temple, that is the physical body. That preservation technique is actually Siddha medicine. So they developed the Siddha medicine to live a long years, to care healthy life and a healthy body. And the definition of Siddha medicine is given by Tirumular. So he comment that மறுப்பது உடல் நோய் மருந்தனலாகும் மறுப்பது உள்ள நோய் மருந்தன சாலும் மறுப்பது நோய் இனி வராதிருப்ப மறுப்பது சாவையும் மருந்தனலாமே, which means the Siddha medicine will cure the physical disease, cure the mental disease, prevent the disease, and also delays the death. I mean, it is actually act as a kaya kalpam, or marupadu savai mean it will prevent the death, mean it will delay the aging process. So that kind of vision was put into this when they developed the Siddha medicine. And how we diagnose the disease. So it's a wonder how you diagnose all the disease. Actually, we have a detailed classification of 4,448 diseases. So for example, now COVID is there. So we take all the symptomatology and we just try to fit where this disease will fit into this classification. So when we do that, we could find out that it fits under the Kabasuram. That is the one disease among 4,448. Suppose if the patient go to the other systemic complication and multi-organ failure, then that symptoms fall under Abhinyasa Sanni. So we have actually systematized classification. Whatever new disease comes in the world, we could actually able to fit in this classification, and the specific drugs mentioned under that specific category we will use as a therapy. So we have therapy even for the disease which will come even after 100 century from today. So this is what we use the symptomatology classification for diagnosis. First point. Second point, we use the nadi diagnosis. So when we talk in the first point, I would like to tell one more thing. So this is the termite mound. It grows abnormally. It has many new termite mound outside the earth. Even if you destroy, it will come again. It has micro, channel under the ground, and it maintains its micro environment irrespective of outside rain or whatever the climate. And this termite mound is actually known as puttu. In Tamil language, it is called puttu. So the cancer is described with this characteristic feature as a puttu. So this is how they explain, and we are able to correlate with any new kind of new diseases. So we can diagnose that. And how we actually, another diagnosis methodology is the NADI, mean the radial artery pulse diagnosis. So this is very useful technique in Siddha. And also Neikuri. Here the early morning urine of the patient is collected. One drop of sesame oil is kept dropped on the surface of the urine. So it will show some structure. Based on the structure, we can diagnose, we can assess the prognosis and choose the medicine. For example, the first one, this is actually looks like a leaf. He gave the leaf-like structure. It is from the bronchial asthma patient. Second one, this is like a sieve-like structure, right? So it is actually taken from the chronic diabetes mellitus patient. So this is how we actually diagnose the patient. And come to the treatment. What treatment do you give? Actually, we have herbal treatments, and suppose there is a there is a concept that வேர்பாறு தழைப்பாறு மிஞ்சினக்கால் மெல்ல மெல்ல பற்பப் செந்தூரம் பாரு, which means treat with the roots and shoots. If not responding or if it is severe, then you gradually start metal and mineral based medicine. So herbal therapy is the definitely primary thing. When patient require higher version of medicine, then we too use the animal based drug therapy. So there are a lot of animals like black chicken, snail. So there are a lot of animals we can use that based drug therapy. Even that is not effective, then we move to the metal and mineral based medicine. So inorganic type of medicines we use like parpam, chanduram, everything. Then we have the detoxification and cleansing type of treatment, we do that. And external therapies available. There are 32 techniques for external therapies, which means drugs applied outside the body, it's not given orally. So these are called external therapy, like oilation. There are more than 20,000 of oil medicated oils are there. If you have a cold, one oil we give to apply on the hair, head bath. Or if you have a body pain, one oil. If you have a sinusitis, one oil. So like even if you have a excess heat sensation in your body, one oil. So like there are, it's a very huge therapeutic potential is there in Siddha. And massage is, you know, that. And caring of 9 openings in the body. So 9 orifices like 2 eyes, 2 ears, mouth. So these are like 9 openings in the body. They are the way for communication with the outside the world. And they are susceptible for some kind of diseases. And by caring these openings or orifices, we can actually prevent many diseases. So that with that concept we approach with a lot of herbal medications. Another important the treatment aspect is unave marand, meal as medicine. So the meal on what basis? The 6 taste based. So I will be explaining in my slides. Vada pitta kabam based diets and pathiyam for certain diseases. Each disease we advise the dietary regimen, that is called pathiyam. Fasting practice is also there. Fasting means viradam, virayam. So losing energy voluntarily, that practice is there. There are many regimens. Another important therapy is kaya kalpam practice. So the yoga actually discovered by the Siddha, it belongs to Siddha medicine. And it is actually categorized under the kaya kalpam practice because it's a way for long living without disease. So we yasana, pranayama, dietary, that is a different regimen. And finally the another best therapy is Varmam therapy. Here the energy manipulation, just by touching few points, we can actually cure or manage the diseases. And just we now jump to the today's topic, that's obesity. So definitely there is a energy consumption and energy expenditure in the form of intake and working physical work. So if there is an imbalance, if there is a reduction in the energy expenditure, then definitely that leads to obesity. So because it's a highly complex and multifactorial, Siddha way of approaching is actually diet therapy, intermittent fasting, and the physical activity therapy. So regarding the mindful eating, conscious eating, controlled eating, you know, Tirukural, he made a book, Tirukural is done by Thiruvalluvar. He had a chapter under the medicine heading, and he talked only about the diet therapy. So he talked all about the mindfulness eating, that already discussed the modern concept by Dr. Uma. Second thing is conscious eating. So this also she told actually food should be chewed and grinded into a fine liquid in the mouth itself. So there is a one saying that kaname mandam kavalikum annatal. So when you feed elephant, if we ourselves, when we feed, elephant will not chew it, just swallow it. So that is called a kavalikum. So if you eat food like that, you will get a disease called a mandam. Okay, so that's what we have to chew the food in the mouth itself to a liquid. When you do that, it will also stimulate the satiety center. We get satisfied, and also it will release a lot of chemicals in the body, and they will help even releasing the insulin. So this is the one best practice. By chewing more and eating, you can stimulate the insulin secretion. And the next concept is we have to feed your gut microbiome. So again, they say, Siddha says, we have to feed our microbiome by 25% of the food. We have to 25% of the food should go to the stool, which means fibers content, and the calorie should be only 25% in each meal, and the micronutrients should be 25% that will go to the body. So to get this combination of this composition, we advise millets based food, unpolished rice, and fruits and vegetables. So this is another dietary advice from the Siddha. And it's not that always you have to be fasting. You can eat something and you can reduce the body weight. For example, கொழுத்தவனுக்கு கொள்ளை கொடு, which means who have more overweight, then he can consume half gram based recipes. So similarly, flaxseed, these are actually advised to consume and reduce the body weight. Similarly, you know that ஆனைக்கு ஒரு காலம் வந்தால் பூனைக்கு ஒரு காலம் வரும், which means ஆனை mean cow ghee and other oil products. When the obese developed because of oil products, you have to use the பூனை, which means honey. Okay, so honey is the best another dietary advice to consume instead of any other sugar based. Honey is the best one. And when you come to the dietary pattern regimen, we advise through the vada pitta kapha based diet. So in ayurveda they say prakriti, in siddha it is called a yake. It's a genetic makeup of individual. So some people you may see they are very thin, they are called vada prakriti or vada dehi. Some people little medium size, they are pitta prakriti people. Kapha prakriti people are naturally they are little overweight. It is normal to them, it is normal to them, they are not obese actually. So a siddha physician can diagnose this. Whether you are normal or obese, they will diagnose. There are a lot of checklist questionnaire is there. Through pulse we can diagnose it, and accordingly there are specific dietary practices. So vada, this type of body will have different set of diet, this type of have different set of diets. So you have to follow those set of diets in your life through lifetime, so that you can prevent lot of diseases. And the next concept is, so in the same family, five people will be there, five members, one person vada type, another person will be pitta type, another will be kapha, another will be mixed of two. So what to do? We cannot cook right recipe for everyone. So there is a simplified version in Siddha, like Tridosha Shamana Polkal, which means whichever diet you prepare doesn't matter. You add these items like pepper, turmeric, cumin, asafoetida, dry ginger, cardamom, fenugreek, small onion. You mix these masalas, these spices when you prepare the food. Then that will be suitable for all the different type of body prakriti type. So you know we will prepare the rasam and sambar, that above said items are definitely there. So without that, this recipe, the lunch or dinner is not complete for an Indian, especially South Indian family. So we naturally unknowingly practice this actually concept in your life. Such next dietary concept is six taste arusuvai unavugal. So you know that each and every item in the world is formed by the combination of organic elements like carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, like that. Same way siddhas, they actually identified five elements that they called as the pancha bodham, five bodham, which means we cannot see with the naked eye. That is called bodham, something which you cannot see but they are very powerful. That is what bodham. So they named as akayam, Vayu, Teyu, Apu, Prithvi. So for your understanding, I just put in equivalent English term: air, fire, water, earth, and space. So here, if you take a bone, so bone is made by, according to Siddha, it is made by earth element and water element. Okay, so like that, each and every object in the world is formed by a combination of one of two or three or four or five elements. Even in our internal organs, human body, skin, heart, everything is formed by the specific combination of these elements. Same way, these elements also give the foodstuff and the herbals, everything. So accordingly, whenever there is a deficiency in the skin, the particular element is deficient. So we know, as a Siddha physician, we know which herbal, which dietary item can fulfill the element. So we will choose that appropriate dietary thing and advise to the patient. And you know, two such a element will form one taste. Okay, similarly there are so salt, spice, astringent, bitter, and sweet. There are 6 tastes. They are formed by the combination of 2 to Panchabhuta. And 2 to taste together form Vadam, Pitta, Kabam. So sour and astringent together form Vadam. Salt and bitter together form Pittam. Spice and sweet taste together form Kabam. Now you are familiar with the Vada, Pitta, Kapha. You might have heard somewhere. So the imbalance of these 3 will produce disease. So if you want to keep these 3 in the balanced state, we have to consume all the 6 tastes. That is what I wanted to say here. For example, you know the sugar that is actually purely sweet in taste. But if you take a honey, it is having sweet and bitter taste. Both are having here. So both are antagonist, opposite to each other. So they will balance to each other. That is what honey is better than normal sugar. Similarly, sweet taste plus astringent. So you can see that sweet taste plus astringent. These two taste are their respective elements. Panchabhudam is there in the figs, dates, and this jambu, navel palam. So when you consume these fruits, you are actually balancing vadam and kabam. So like that, it's a huge concept. It requires 2-3 hours to explain you for everything. And there are fruits like amla or nellika, which is having all the 6 tastes. So we advise to take all the 6 tastes in day-to-day life. So astringent and bitter are the taste which usually people take less. So I will show some of the examples like which has astringent taste is figs, dates, and this is a wood apple, vilambalam, and drumstick, banana, flower. So these have astringent action, astringent taste. So similarly, bitter taste foods are honey and this is fenugreek, right? This is chundekai. I don't know whether it's available there. This agathi kirai, neem flower, brinjal. Okay, these are the bitter taste foods. We have to consume this bitter taste food. Even I think only in southern India culture they emphasize the consumption of bitter taste as a food. Next concept is Pattini Perimaranda. It's a fasting. Fasting is practiced in almost all the religious and all the country in some or other way. So religious fasting is there. In Siddha, they say 9 இருபொழுது ஒழிய 3 பொழுது உண்போம். Similarly, இரண்டு உண்பவன் யோகி, bogi, which means per day 2 times consumption of food is advisable. So when is the 2 time? Dinner 7:30, if you finish the dinner, the next day lunch is the next large meal. So in between you can break the fasting. Okay, you can break the, so now the gap between dinner 7:30 and the next day lunch is actually more than 16 hours. So this fasting is important, but in between you can break the fast by having some fruits or liquids like fruits, dry grapes, vegetable soups, smoothies, honey, lemon juice, and hot water. So this must be the breakfast. The breakfast should not fill the stomach. It should be just breaking the fast in a lighter way, so that this dietary practice should be followed by everyone to get a better normal healthy weight. And how much food to be consumed in each time? 50% should be the solid food, 25% should be the liquid, and remaining 25% should be an empty stomach. So this is what another concept Siddha says. So we should not fill the stomach with all the stuff. 25% we should leave the stomach as a empty, so that it will have some therapeutic benefit. And if you follow these, definitely 16 hours to 18 hours fasting, it will lead to lipid broken down in the body, and there are a lot of benefits. So 5% weight loss if you achieve, it will improve the insulin sensitivity in muscle and liver. It will reduce the diabetic and cardiovascular complications. So you will be having a better life. And next aspect is energy expenditure. One is fasting is the energy expenditure. Another is the sustained exercise. There must be a sustainability. And especially we emphasize the group activity. So when you do the physical activity like yoga, in the yoga forward bending, backward bending asanas and twisting asanas are there. Again, it is customized. We cannot tell general thing, patient to patient, it will vary. Pranayamam, martial arts like Silambatam, and there are many martial arts, ethnic dances like Bharatanatyam, and many different culture has dance practices. So these all, when you practice as a group, it is actually encouraging. alone, when we practice, actually the sustainability is the questionable there. Okay, so finally, I would like to say we humans evolved from monkeys, so better we follow the monkey's food. What is monkey's habit? Monkey keeps on eating, but it is keeps on active. Very active animal is the monkey. So what to eat? We have to find our tradition. Each and every people, they may have some tradition. So where you can find the tradition now? The rituals and religious practices, what you follow still now, we are retaining our tradition. So even in Indian scenario, people offer many things to the god or to the temple. So by like banana, coconut, rice, these are there, that particular tradition. So and like a monkey, we can eat unlimited, but when you feel hungry, then only you should eat. Should not eat simply, right? Unlimited you can eat, but when you feel, as we have to follow the above said procedure, 50% liquid and all, and you always be active mentally and physically. So, and I also emphasize seasonal foods and native grains, vegetables to be consumed. So even monkeys, they will not eat any new food, any artificial food, they will not eat. So with that, I would like to conclude the talk, and I thank the opportunity to you, and I am open to any questions. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Arul, for the presentation. Very informative. Yeah, it has a lot of information on Siddha medicine and the benefits. Now we have a few interesting questions, and we will be moving on to the Q&A session. A quick reminder for our Facebook viewers. Please ask your questions on the Facebook chat. If any of your questions are not addressed in this sessions, our esteemed doctors will answer them on the Facebook chat later. A quick reminder also is that this is an informative session, so please ask general questions and avoid any personal questions or consultation. Thank you. So my first question will be to Dr. Arul. So Dr. Arul, what's unique about Siddha medicine, and how is it different from Ayurveda and allopathy? Dr. Arul?
Maybe, okay, he is back here. Hello, Dr. Arul.
Hello, sir. I am back. Sorry, it got disconnected.
Okay, maybe he had asked again.
Yeah, so Dr. Arul, our first question is, what is unique about Siddha medicine, and how is it different from Ayurveda and allopathy?
Okay, so when we talk the uniqueness, we use the pulse diagnosis, radial pulse diagnosis, even to choose the medicine. Yeah, we get 3 patients having the same sinusitis, so 3 will have same symptom, clinical features, sinusitis, but we cannot give the same drug to all the 3. So we choose the check the pulse and whether Vata, Pitta, Kapha, which is actually altered. Based on that, the drug therapy will vary. So that is personalized medicine we practice that gives more successful. And the 4448, that disease classification is very interesting, and through that we can use detailed personalized care that is special. And when herbals are not effective, we have little more option to go ahead with the animal based and the metal based drugs. Those metal based drugs, now a lot of researches happened, and they have proven that these are actually nanoparticles of metal, like gold nanoparticle, silver nanoparticle. So it is actually highly scientific. We have that scope. Still we can have a lot of therapies. And the Varmam concept is actually by manipulating few vital points in the body, like ladies keep the bindi here, like it's one example, they are stimulating one Varmam daily. So, and people do this, right? People do this practice Topukaranam. They are actually stimulating some Varma points. So few of the points actually are in the day-to-day practice, and therapeutically we can use that point manipulation techniques for many neurological disease, many diseases. Actually we are using that rehabilitation, many things actually. That is another important unique therapy in Siddha. And Unave Marand, that concept, I mean food as a medicine, is actually, these are the uniqueness of Siddha.
Okay. So how is it different from Ayurveda and allopathy? So if the same person with sinus goes to an Ayurvedic or allopathy doctor, how would that be different?
Okay, so if the allopathic doctor got the sinusitis patient, he will prescribe for all the 3 patients same medicine, because he thinks sinusitis is the same infection and histaminic. So same set of treatment he gives. Some people it works, some people it will not work. And when the same patient goes to Ayurvedic doctor, they will see the symptomatology. So Vata, Pitta, Kapha, symptomatology based they will see. They don't check the pulse. So again, they may miss the personalized care. But when we get the patient, we check the pulse. So the pulse will vary today and next week it will vary. So we keep on changing the drug therapy according to the pulse. Pulse is the reflection of whole body, not just the heart. So with that, we can give very specific treatments.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you. Yeah, over to you, Alfred.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Arul, for the nice question. Okay, this question is to Dr. Uma, because you are practicing Western medicine, so maybe what you say had more credibility here. So why do people prefer Siddha treatment? I mean, where does it fit? And then how does the approach differ from normal Western medicine?
Sure. So yeah, having both system of medicine on board, I can definitely see how we highly differ in approaching a disease. Say, for example, a simple example I can take, and I have seen this in my experiences, say psoriasis, right? Psoriasis patients, when they come to conventional approach, it's always try to suppress the inflammation that's happening by just giving them steroids. That's the first step we do in allopathy. And then if you go to Siddha, that approach is completely different. As Dr. Arul was saying, you see as a patient as a whole. You don't see the lesion on the skin. You see them as a whole. Just because he has psoriasis, it's not the same psoriasis that someone else is having. The disease presence as psoriasis doesn't mean the cause of psoriasis in them is the same, right? So we try to analyze the cause in Siddha. That's the beautiful difference we have. And I think that's how treatment should be done. You cannot have a one fix that fits all, right? It has to be curated. It has to be, because we all are unique. We all have different genetic makeup. So one size fits all never works. I think that's where we really differ from allopathy. And as I said in my presentation, I think we are marching towards that beautiful side of medicine emerging very soon in future, that we put allopathy and Siddha or any other conventional, indigenous system of medicine together to give a complete and highly beneficial package to the patient. I mean, that's how it should march towards. And we saw that very well in the COVID situation too. Like I saw so many of my friends, and Dr. Arul can vouch for this too. So they worked in parallel with, allopathy physicians. And this is the first time, and maybe in history, that was even given a choice to, work together. And that made a huge difference. I think the approach is completely different in allopathy and Siddha, and putting it together definitely gives a better benefit.
Yeah, definitely. I was there in Chennai, and then I witnessed that first time how initially it was rejected, and then the secretary changed, and then how it all came together. That's very, very good. Yeah, thanks. Over to you, Chitra.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Uma. So this is for Dr. Arul. So what is a typical Siddha treatment of a disease, and what is the concept of drugs used in the Siddha medicine?
So as I told already, it's we use the regimen that include herbal therapy, diet therapy, and fasting therapy, cleansing therapy, external therapy, and the Varmam point manipulation therapy. So this is the regimen we use. Suppose if the herb therapy is not effective, then we will go to the other animal-based and metal-based therapy. They are actually non-toxic. We have been using for many years. So even if a patient is having sinusitis, for example, that we are, or obesity, so we advise the diet therapy and fasting therapy, cleansing therapy once in a 4 month, like cleansing therapy, and some herbal based therapy. Even for hair oil also, bathing oil also, they're different for that particular person. So like that, it's a whole lifestyle actually we're changing for next 2-3 months, so that he will get the full benefit.
So it's a combination of drugs and like other lifestyle changes.
Yes, yes.
So what are the different Siddha formulations like Churnam, Kashayam, and how did Siddha become effective for COVID treatment?
Yes, it's a very good question. So actually there are 32 type of formulations for the oral medications and 32 type of formulation and techniques for external medicine. So powder, it's a one formulation, lehium, nei, parpam chanduram, chunam kurugulige. So there are many manapag. So these are each and everything as different. They have advantages, disadvantages. To which age group to we have to give to target the brain, it should be a nei. So like it's a very big concept, and for the kids the medicines are very sweet in nature, palatability is good, so like that we use. And regarding COVID, actually now in India, it's actually Siddha is doing well. Not only now current COVID, earlier days also when HIV was first diagnosed in India, there was no medicine. How now we are struggling for COVID without medicine. Same scenario happened 2 decades ago for the HIV. That time also Siddha served. Siddha, some allopathy doctor, Dr. Devanayagam, they came forward and did the research and used Siddha medicine. That is was the medicine he used for his patient as allopathy doctor, and he saved 85,000 HIV patients without the death, and they were living for many years until the allopathy anti-HIV drugs were discovered. So it means it served during HIV, during dengue, during chikungunya, now COVID-19. So now COVID-19 in Tamil Nadu, there are 30 Siddha exclusive COVID center have been set up in each district. So asymptomatic, mild and moderate, up to this level, patient can go get admitted and take the Siddha medicine alone. As I told, it's a package. It's not just one medicine you consume and you'll get it. It's a full lifestyle therapy is given. Only for severe cases, we refer to the allopathy doctor. So it will actually help for the people in preventing the post-COVID sequel like lung fibrosis, liver damage. Many things we are able to prevent using Siddha medicine, and also reduces the workload for the allopathy doctors. They can actually just concentrate only the needy people in the emergency and severe case. Otherwise, the hospital is filled with mild and moderate. Actually, the doctors are not able to give that. Yeah. So, and apart from that, healthcare providers like all doctors, even police person, like who are working, exposing more with the COVID patients more to the public, they have been taking the Siddha medicine like Kabasura, Kudinir, Kashaya. So they are able to prevent that. So that part also we have worked. Those who are consumed this Siddha, Kashayam, Kabasura, Kudinir, they never got the COVID infection from the patient as a doctor or as a police person. So that prophylaxis actually prevention also we are doing in a better way.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Arul. Yeah. Over to you.
Thanks, Chitra. My next question is to Dr. Uma, because she's here. I'm going to the practical aspects of seeking some help from Siddha medicine. So if I have some issue and I want to consult a Siddha practitioner, so what are my options? Because I know all the good Siddha practitioners, the experienced Siddha practitioners are in India, right? So because that's where they see more patients, right? Unless you see more patients in a Siddha practice, Siddha medicine, then you are not very skilled at this, right? So what are my options here in US?
I really wish I could give my personal number and say, call me, but unfortunately, we have a lot of limitations in practicing Siddha in this part of the world. Honestly, I think it will change. I definitely hope it's moving in the right direction. It will change, but time is a factor. But currently, through GCSMR, we do have the option of telemedicine, which is really going well, and Dr. Arul and Dr. Selva Shanmugam, they both are doing a phenomenal job in approaching patients, especially here in the United States when parents, they come from India and they stay here, and for all chronic disease management, they are really providing a great asset of having a teleconference with the patients. I mean, definitely there will be a question like, how do you treat patients when you don't analyze the pulse and all that? But pulse is not the only way we treat patients in Siddha. We have other parameters to look into. We give the basic questionnaires to understand the composition of their body. So with that screening process, our physicians can definitely see where they belong to, and they can steer the direction of treatment accordingly. So that is definitely an option available. People who are interested in taking this Siddha pathway of treating their disease, they can approach our organization, who are actively doing this. Especially we started this during the COVID times, and then it is going on well. And I'm sure Dr. Arul can share some views on that, because he's doing it.
Yes, it's a very difficult actually for Siddha doctors, or the system is not even popularized in many places, and many Siddha doctors not settled in abroad. So people find it difficult, but at present the telemedicine works. People consult with doctor with Zoom or other calls by call or WhatsApp call, and we get maximum details, like if the pulse is not pulse taken process is not possible, then other like questionnaires are there to find out what pulse could be. So there are many set of questions to we'll try to extract by asking many more questions, and we just fix that, okay, you might be having this particular pulse, so that we can try to give the specific medicine. But still, if the medicine doesn't work now, then we will understand, okay, this is that one, then we can change. So with the sustained consultation, keep in touch with the doctor, it is possible. We can give a better care. Actually, it's possible.
Oh, thank you, doctors. In that, I see a challenge there. So in telemedicine, you may be prescribing some medicines. So how do you get these medicines here, right? So I was inquiring about it, and then I found that FDA even cautions not to take Siddha or Ayurvedic medications because of the heavy metal usage. So importing them, it's a challenge, isn't it? Do you have any experience in that? How do you address that aspect?
Yeah, none of the medicines actually of the traditional medicines are approved by FDA, because they will approve medicine if it is a single molecule. But herbals will have more than 10-20 molecule, right? So they will lose that definition of medicine. So the FDA will not bother about it. They will not approve. But all the drugs will not have heavy metals. That is the false impression. So based on the herbals which are collected from some area where there are heavy metals, so like that few herbals will have unknowingly the metals might have been added, so adulteration. So this has to be taken care. But regarding the medicine, as you told, no medical shops in the US can buy and keep in their medical shop. Ayurveda Siddha, they cannot sell it. But the patients, Indian patients or abroad patients, when they consult with us telemedicine, we prescribe the medicine, and they either we send to them, or from here we can send to them as a personally, or there are now more than 5-6 online medical shops arrived already from India. So online shopping you can do. You can just go to the website, you choose the medicine, or you send your prescription, and personally you can buy and use. If even from the US you can use, and you have to buy online from the India. But it cannot be stored and sold in the US market. That is what the thing.
Okay.
You can buy from online. There are online Ayush, Ayurveda Siddha pharmacy available.
Okay. So telemedicine, I need to go to the site, the website, Global Siddha Medicine website.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks both doctors. Yeah, over to you, Chitra.
Okay, yeah, thank you. This is for Dr. Uma. So we have seen from Dr. Arul's presentation that Siddha started long time ago, right? So how has it evolved over the years? And what are the new advancements in this field?
Absolutely. I mean, I take a pride here to say that Siddha has marched a long way, and current generation of Siddha physicians, they're seeing how it should be delivered, and then how it can be presented to the current millennial generation, so it will be more palatable for them to understand what the system is. And I definitely have to say that for example, like Dr. Arul and Dr. Silva, they're all like involved in research of Siddha medicine, which is a big lacking part of our medicine before. But now, especially after COVID, that part of the barrier is broken, and research is getting much more, focused now in Siddha system of medicine. I think the system can only establish itself when it reaches the bigger audience, right? And reaching a bigger audience needs scientific evidence, and that's where we are working on, and the progress is much better now. And then during the COVID times, I also realized that telemedicine was an option within India itself. There were so many centers through Central Research Institute. They had telemedicine options. People in the remote village areas were able to reach physicians, and they got medicines, which is amazing. Because we, even here in United States, we started telemedicine only during COVID, even though we have all the infrastructure, that was always against HIPAA, right? You can never do, treat patients online and all that. But now to see people in India do Siddha medicine in telemedicine way, it was really fascinating. And then they were able to work along. These days, the awareness is much better, and the other system of medicine is open to accept us, accept our system of medicine to integrate beautifully with their system of medicine. So that's another progress I'm seeing. And then other than that, automation of records, they actually started recording people's, situation and to collect the data. And, that automation was not that prevalent before. And now they are keeping records and to see how the trend is going. And it really helps in research purposes too, so that automation is happening. And then they also regulated false advertisements of, people who, falsely propaganda medicines and, give them false information to the public. That was restricted. So slowly, and in all areas of Siddha medicine, I think it's making a progress. And I see even the juniors, like junior doctors who are in the Siddha colleges doing their first and second year, they've charted their own channels, and they bring in so much awareness to the public, which is all really fascinating. I think this generation is seeing it differently than before. They are trying to put the knowledge from before and now try to bring it to this new generation where they can understand exactly what the system is. So we are marching in the right direction in that way. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So you have talked about the integrated approach, right? So can you explain a little bit about the integrated approach for Siddha?
In Siddha, there are so many different therapies that Dr. Arul was saying. There are different ways of approaching a disease. So it's not just oral medications. It can be, starting with first cleansing your body. Even before you start treatment, we cleanse the body. We call it as, purgation, or so many different ways of cleansing your body. First you clean the place, and then you start building the immunity or whatever you want to do. So the approach is completely different. You start with cleaning, and then you start giving the perfect formulations that will really help, approach the disease. And then you completely change their lifestyle. Say, I would still pick on the psoriasis as an example, because I've seen this happen to in our own patient population when I was practicing Siddha in India. So that patient had psoriasis for almost like 1 year, and he was only 26 years old. He had social trauma, and he couldn't get married, and all that stigma was going on. He had global psoriasis, like from head to toe. The approach is like, you first start with cleansing, and then you give the herbal preparations that is needed, and then the topical applications. And we don't jump into minerals and metals right away. It's like a stepwise approach, right? So with that, and along with that, he had so much stress because of the disease itself. So yoga was included, meditation was included. So when so many different therapies are given together, the result was amazing. And it only took 6 months for him to completely get rid of all the lesions. And he never got that back because he strictly followed the diet therapy that we gave him. So it was amazing to see the results, which he tried with so much steroid injections, nothing worked for him. But this lifestyle approach really helped him. So that's where we really differ a lot.
Yeah, because in allopathy, you just treat the symptom, but not the actual cause. But here, because of the integrated approach, you're with the lifestyle change, with the diet and yoga, exercise, you're actually, treating the root cause as well, right? So that prevents it not only from that prevents it from not coming back again, I think, and that's what the patient wants, right? So if if you put a cream, it goes away and then it comes back again. It's not helpful for the patient, right? They want it to permanently go away, and that's what is, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ma. Yeah. Over to you, Alfred.
Thanks, Chitra. Yeah, thank you both doctors. So based on my experience, like any traditional systems of healing, you go with the problem A, and then they tell you, oh, you may have a problem B, C, D, and then they take care of everything. So that is, I like it. I like the holistic approach. But in the allopathy, you go with the problem A, and then after some time you get B, and then you get C, and then you get D, and then you don't know what you are doing. So that is my experience, and some of my friends' experience too. So this question, or this is just maybe the last and final question to Dr. Arul. So based on your representation, we understand the imbalance in doshas is the problematic for all the diseases. So tell us top 3 items that we should be doing every day
Okay,
to maintain the
so
balance.
yeah. So all the Vadam, Pitta, Kabam, the imbalance leads to disease and balance leads to health. So in order to balance all the 3, we have to eat all the 6 taste foods. Okay, even if we have to use the bitter taste and astringent taste, all the 6 taste food every day, if you consume, that will be balanced. Vata, Pitta, Kabam will be balanced. Second thing, eat solid foods only twice daily. So lunch and dinner could be solid foods, and morning can be a liquid foods or fruit juice or smoothies like that. Third thing, you have to practice pranayama, the Idakalai Pinkalai pranayama, and any of the physical exercise like a hobby, like yoga or martial arts, dance. If it's a hobby with a passion, you will do the sustainability, you will do that. So these are the 3 things I would like to tell you, so that everyday practice, we will be definitely healthy.
Okay. Thank you very much, doctors, for your valuable inputs to our healthy lifestyle. Thank you, viewers. Wish you all a very happy and healthy life. Over to you, Chitra.
Yeah, thank you. This is the end of our Q&A session. So thank you to our guests, Dr. Uma and Dr. Arul, for your valuable time. And it was a very informative session. You know, I myself learned a lot. So thank you for coming onto the show. Thank you to the wonderful team here at PDX A1 for putting the show together in such a short time. And thanks for our Facebook and YouTube viewers for your time, and hope you enjoyed the show. Stay safe. Over to you, Venkat. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Uma and Dr. Arul, for an informative and engaging presentation. It's both allopathy and Siddha information. It's really helped us. I hope it also helped to all the viewers. On behalf of PDX A1 Spotlight team, I'd like to thank you for your time and for to join us today. I want to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Sosaitam sir for his help and the support for this program. Thank you, sir. And also Chitra and Albert, both you were such a great host and very nice. So fantastic finishing also. I want to thank you for your support and help as well. Thank you for accepting our invitation and being part of this show. Finally, I want to thank my PDX A1 Spotlight team and all supporters of this show for the continuous support and engagement. Thank you very much, and see you soon for yet another PDX A1 Spotlight presentation. Have a nice, great weekend. Thank you all.
Thank you
See
for
you
having
soon.
us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you to all. Nandi.